Welcome to the first installment of the new map updates Q&A. I'm Turkey Guy Soakman, and joining me today are Turkey Man Riggs Guy
Gobble.
and Broccoli Brontosaurus.
Yo.
In this series, we'll be going through the questions you guys submitted after our dev blog posts each month, which can be found on our website. If you want your questions answered in these videos, respond in the appropriate thread in our Discord. Both are linked below. This first dev blog is coming out in November, which means it's turkey time, and that's why Riggs and I are dressed up in our turkey costumes. Bros is not. Bros, any comment on this?
I'm a square.
That's right. With that said, let's jump into the questions.
Seb asks, so warping from capital to capital will be free, but warping from anywhere to a capital will be subject to a cost? This is exactly right. Warping from any warp to any other warp will be free, but if you are not within range of a warp, it will cost money based on how far you are from the warp you are trying to go to. He also asks, what will be done to the /home system? Will that also incur a fee or be kept to the same system as current map? There are a few things involving /set home abuse that we are still looking into, but we can confirm that there will be no fee for /home, and the 5-minute cooldown for /home is staying.
Alright, so we got another question coming from Seb, and he asks, is there going to be any confirmation on which content packs will be on the server upon release, or will it be down to a voting decision still on which content packs makes it onto the server, and or if, all the packs that are still alive once the rewrite is out, if that's going to be automatically added to the server. Alright, so this is a little bit of a loaded set of questions, but I can confirm that Tradecraft Classic and Tradecraft Modern will be on the server upon release. As for all of the other content packs, I can't really say currently, but we do have WWCP and BAP that are being highly considered. And for other packs that we're not really familiar with yet, we're not entirely sure what the fate of those are going to be for the server. But, it'll all come down to what the players want in the server. So when the time comes, we will be putting out a survey and we'll be going over feedback from all the players that submit their answers and whatnot and what they want on the server. So we got a really good question coming from Bida, and he asks us, what's going to happen to all of the content that was submitted to RWCTC that isn't from a pre-existing pack like BAP or WWCP? Alright, so the short answer is that those pieces of content will no longer be in the game, unfortunately. When submitting content to RWCTC, some might notice that we require information such as the pack that it will be affiliated with. This ensures that the content created adheres to their guidelines and has a home for when we move on to Trains in Motion. Alright, so we got a question coming from Corey, and he asks us if the map will be available for download once the new map is up and running. Now, for security reasons, we will not be putting up the map for download right away. When the time comes, we will make an announcement for when the download link will be available. Corey has another question for us, and he asks us, what will the map look like when it comes to spawn loop? Will it be just as elaborate and detailed as the current map's loop? So we can't really say a whole lot at this point in time, but we will say this is our largest endeavor to date. Though if you want to see any sneak peeks, be sure to head over to the server website and check out new map updates with the RWC crew.
This next one comes from Vile, who asks, will the major rail companies get new lines on the server? Will new ones replace them? Excluding staff, every single player will be starting from nothing. So no money, tools, claim land, or permits. Quite literally a fresh start. We have a question from Pancake Boy, who says, does the introduction of immersive engineering apply the introduction of other new mods / immersive engineering add-ons? And if so, does that mean there's a possibility of functional overhead wires? So in terms of immersive engineering add-on, immersive petroleum is really the only one we're looking at. As for other mods, we can neither confirm nor deny any additional mods at this point. Overhead wires are going to be dependent on Tradecraft 5, which it does plan to have overhead lines included in the mod, but at this point in time, it can't be confirmed if it will happen, so we will have to see. This next question comes from Scout Trooper, who asks, how is Lacan Bridge going to work? And unless Traincraft 5 gets functionality for lifting bridges, it will only be raised for certain events. Most of the time, Lacan Bridge will be in the down position, though. And a follow-up question is, does Lacan Bridge use Carpenter blocks? Because the angled wedge pieces look really nice with it. We thought so too. But no, those slope parts are default in immersive engineering. So, no Carpenter blocks needed.
On the topic of immersive engineering, Jonah asks, how will the economy be balanced with the immersive engineering excavators? Many ores will be almost infinite with them. It's a very tough thing to balance. As the one spearheading the economy both in development and balancing, there's a lot of things to consider when pricing ores and balancing the mods. The only thing at this point in time that I can confirm is that immersive engineering will be nowhere near as overpowered as it is by default.
Well, that wraps up the first video. You can keep up to date by joining our Discord for more news and information. You can go to our Roll Updates channel and get the announcements roll to be notified of future website and video releases. The next devlog will be released in the middle of November. So, thank you for your questions, and until next time,